right, you were saying this thing wasn't a male-female thing, it was retail. How about this? This is something that I'm curious whether it's a black-white thing, because there's a guy in Des Moines who's made the papers because he's up for 4 years. He's looking at 4 years in jail on 2 counts of child endangerment because he's basically spanked his kid. And his argument in court is, you know what, that timeout crap is okay for the suburbs, but here in the hood,
what, in Iowa?
we gotta, yeah, he lives in Des Moines.
Cedar Falls, Des Moines, the hood.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, now that's my point.
Yeah. He lives
when did the hood come to Des Moines? What do they do, like tractor buys there?
Tractor buys, yeah.
You know what, I
Plow buys.
happen to know the city of Des Moines a little because I was engaged to a girl from Iowa at one point, and Des Moines has its rough side. What, yes, this is in the 80s, when I used to have that summer home in Chernobyl.
This is not a socioeconomic issue. It's not a racial issue. You know, I don't want to speak for all white people, obviously.
Please.
But
Don't. But if we had to elect someone, you would be pretty good at that.
Thank you. I'll take that mantle. This kid's 10 years old, and generally, you know, the rules are spanking should be roughly from 2 to 6 years of age. But it's an important.
Yeah.
This is a child.
Well, whose rules?
What rules?
This
Exactly.
is child development literature that tells you what's appropriate for using with children. And you know, by the time
Child development literature.
yeah.
Oh, and that's the great god of child
It's
rearing?
in the hood. They use it in the hood all the time.
Okay.
I mean, this guy is saying, he's saying,
wait,
look,
she might be
in
getting
my
it.
world, where kids really face a lot of
Well, see,
extreme dangers.
This is the point. And common sense goes with common sense goes. See, this is the thing. Common sense. Most normal parents out there interact with their kids in a normal way and know that when your child is being defiant and going directly against what you've told them to do, there are limited occasions where you do need to spank your child in order to set limits and give them a line that they're not going to cross over, so that you're the parent.
Charmaine, yeah, Charmaine, as much as it's scaring me, you and I agree again.
Yes.
Okay? No, look, I was raised by a strong Jamaican man, okay? So there was definitely, a Jamaican immigrant who came to this country, and, he wanted to keep me in line, and being spanked or being hit from time to time is what it requires. He's like, look, I didn't swim to this damn country to have you acting like an idiot. If I have to hit you, I'll hit you. And eventually I became the first mulatto speed bag. So, but that being said, I think people need it. I think children need it. I mean, it's almost like this. I mean, we're not talking about throwing kids up against the wall. We're not talking about punching.
What are we talking about? Because, I mean, you said spanking, but really, what's he talking about here?
Well,
I mean, I just see
no, spanking. We're talking about this guy hit his kid.
Yeah.
And he probably raised a welter. I don't know.
He spanked him on the bottom. And see, this is the thing. Normal
the
people
authorities-
I've known of people being
authorities
spanked with extension cords, and I feel that that's too far. But I'll give you an example.
Rubber
I think
hoses.
for every child it is different. Because for me, okay, when you say someone who on a weekend, I may have 6 kids running around my house. I'll give you an example. Matricia is completely different from Asia. Asia is a very obedient child. When I tell Asia something, she does it. Matricia does not get it. So when I tell Matricia the 3rd time, I will lash her. I will thrash her with my hands.
What year did you black people go nuts with the names? That's what I want to know. What year was that?
And this is the thing. It's very important.
Could I just speak for the white people just for like 10 seconds? What year did that happen?
It's very important. Black people have also gotten very creative with the spanking. I mean, they've utilized household instruments. We're talking about belts. We're talking about cords. To this day, if I see a clog, I still get chills.
But you know what? I think we should definitely teach our children, minus the anger. I see a lot of people just get way too angry, and you're hitting your child repeatedly out of anger. Right. And that creates something totally different because it not only instills fear, you're not learning from that.
Every action has a reaction. Every violent act toward a child is going to create a violent reaction somewhere down the line, maybe against that person's own child later, years later. And you've got to break a cycle of violence somewhere, sometime.
No, wait. You have to
Well, that's why I want to let's get exact about it. You said spanking, but, obviously he's not being hauled up to the court because he hit his kid with the hand
but you know what? The problem is when we go the other way, and I've heard you say this as well. When we go the other way, we've entered into this world of spineless parenting. Okay,
Thank you.
we're
Yes.
scared. You see the guy on television, the other guy, that T. Berry Brazelton. He's like, let your child let you know when he wants to be potty trained.
Yeah.
What is that? You turn
Right.
around, the guy's in high school wearing Huggies.
Yeah.
You can't you can't let the children. When did the children start running the show? You know what I mean? The guy's getting his
Right.
he's
Elian
got
Gonzalez
Pampers on.
was
He's
that.
getting his degree and he's got Pampers on.
Yeah.
What is
And
going
I
on
think
here?
too, I've noticed that like if my girls hang with somebody's, you know, whose parents just refuse to use
Now,
any
these are
type
cousins
of
of
force,
yours, or?
nieces, nephews,
Nieces?
all of them.
Okay.
If they refuse to spank, don't do that. Mommy said I don't like that. Have a seat. They are taking over,
No.
and it is a
Yeah.
complete sign of disrespect
Right.
to me because you have to understand that I control this moment.
Right.
Exactly. We got to do something about Martricia because she is
Yes,
going
you
crazy.
just got to tell that girl, hey, I'll get Bobby Brown on your ass, girl. And okay, we got to take a break. We'll be right back.